one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon. Here on Logic Before Authority. The magazine dump is in the house, as well as Anonymous Legion, Mike Smith. What is happening, my people? Guys, today we're going to talk about something quite interesting, to me at least. And it's about the North Pole map that shows the 4 islands with the rivers flowing in, kind of like the 4 arteries that flow into our hearts. And as I've stated before, if we can find something upon the earth, we'll find a similar image in our bodies and also in the heavens. So, a little bit of information there. Yes, Michelle, we are going to go look at the North Pole maps. I found around 10 other maps that show evidence of the islands, the 4 islands with the rivers flowing in at the North Pole, and we're going to take a look at those. And we're gonna jump right in. Y'all guys are familiar with this, of course, and I've got, as you can see, a bunch of other images to show you. I've got to track down the highest resolution version of some of these, but this one here, I've got high resolution of it. Like right here, we can zoom in here and you can see pretty good. It talks about the pygmy people, the Oompa Loompas that live here or lived here. I can't say if they still live there or not anymore, but they are said to be small people in the range of, like, Oompa Loompa size, okay? And I find that fascinating, that they found people here. And as I've stated before, looking at this, you see these mountains that run around the outside or outer edge, right? This inside plane here, you notice there's no mountains. But over here, you notice there's mountains everywhere, and mountains on the other side and all around everywhere where there are mountains. If there's mountains up here, you're going to see the mountains, okay? There's mountains in the central land over here, you're going to see the mountains. When it comes to this, there's a ring, what looks like a ring of mountains around the outer edge of this garden. Yeah, I know, I'm not sure what I just said is the truth yet. But yeah, we'll call it the garden. And in the center of the garden, there was a tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? This looks like just what we're talking about. I don't mean it is, and I'm not making that bold of a statement yet that this was the original Garden of Eden, but it sure does make me wonder. And then it has the 4 arteries flowing inwards, kind of like a heart. And then it's said to have a magnetic mountain in the middle that is huge. We've got another map here that shows us what they claim is kind of like the current map now, and overlaid with this map. And we may refer to this some too. As you can see, it kind of matches up in some ways. Not completely, because Greenland is shown down here on this map, and Greenland is shown laying further to the north on this map. I just suspect that there's a little bit of truth in both of them, maybe. But yeah, let's back out on this a little bit. Okay, and there's so much to investigate and look into, but we're mainly going to try to focus on the maps themselves, okay? Because like I said, I found a bunch of other maps that show evidence of what we're seeing. I don't have the high resolution version here, but you can see that in this map here, it's called the Orbis Terrace Compendiosa Description. Okay, and you can see that it shows, well, it shows those what looks like 4 little islands up here, right above, in the north, right? Not necessarily above, but in the north. And that's just one. That's just one map. Here's another one that, well, shows it as well. A little bit different, but it shows it as well, doesn't it? You got these islands with the rivers flowing in again. And I have to wonder, with all of these map makers, and this one is in a book, okay, as you can see, and I'll be coming back to hit this again later, and we'll look at what book this is and have higher resolution images of these maps. But for now, this is what we got to go with. But you can see that again, it has the 4 islands, that central tree stump looking style in there, right? In this map again. And these are, some of these maps are from 14th century, 15th century, and 16th century. And certainly I'll attempt to find even more. Is this a copy of this, but just different? Looks kind of like it is. It does. Okay. Then we have this one, another one. And again, we've got the stuff to the north here. And also something I noticed too is how huge they're depicting Antarctica. And they're depicting it coming all the way up in the Pacific. And this could answer a question. But they're depicting it coming all the way up in the Pacific to the equator. You see it right there? Depicting it coming up to the equator. The Antarctic. Over here you have like Australia and the Philippines and all that over here. But then depicting Antarctica coming up to the equator. Okay. And of course it has the islands in the north. See what the next one looks like. Here, this one's not as clear to see, but you can tell that there is something round with some rivers running into it in the north here and over here as well. You can also see that it depicts Antarctica. Here's Australia. See? Australia laying at the so-called equator, right? Just laying right slightly below the equator. But then you have this massive continent down here. Now, on pretty much any map you go to look at now, Antarctica is big, but it's not this kind of big. And it certainly ain't that kind of big. Quite amazing. Here's another one. And you kind of have to orient yourself. This is the United States over here. And going down into the Central America area, and then South America past that. And South America continues on over here and goes down to what's depicted as Antarctica. Okay. And the equator, see how this one has it. It has Antarctica reaching up past the what's that called? The Tropic of Cancer in the south. Can't remember. The tropic areas. Okay, it has it reaching up into there, and that is via the opposite of this would be up here. That would be in the Pacific again. So this one shows Antarctica rising way up into the Pacific over here. And why I find that curious is because you can't take a boat from, say, California, okay, and go on a boat and just go straight to Australia. You can't do it. They won't allow it, put it that way. Whether it's physically possible, I don't know. But there are no boats that go straight between there. And the flights, they will all go to like Japan or someplace over there like that. And they fly way, what seems like way up north, and then comes down into this part of Asia over here, and then go down to Australia. And I find that pretty interesting. I got another one here. This is a different type of map altogether, and it shows not what we'd expect to see or exactly what we're looking for, but we have looking at it from like Antarctica versus looking at it from the north. Now, we don't see exactly the islands with the rivers running in, but you do see a landmass in the north here on this. Got another one here. Again, another different type of map. Okay. And you've got Antarctica down here. And you've got the North Pole here. And in this situation, the North Pole landmass is actually connected. It looks like it's connected to, what would I say that is? Like Canada? Maybe? No. No, that's, that would be northern Russia area. Here's the United States over here. And it comes very close right there. Like short boat ride, about 30 minutes over, which is a trip. But over here, it's actually connected to this landmass that's in the middle, this side. You look at the next one. Got Antarctica being as far north as South Africa, but in the Pacific again. Okay, here's another one. And in this one, you can see that the 4 islands up here, and over here again. And when it comes to Antarctica, it has it coming all the way up to the tropical line at the equator here, and then you've got the 2 tropical lines here and here that run like through Cuba, in this case in the north. In the south, it runs through South America, and it's got Antarctica coming up right below Australia here. In this case, it looks like, well, yeah, you could get on a boat and go straight to Australia, but something's not adding up. And I don't have millions of dollars to go flying around and figuring any of this out. And of course, they would try to stop you if they figured out what you were up to. But we can still investigate the best we can. I think this is a color copy, maybe that. No? Different one. Yeah, this is different. It's similar, but it's different. And I imagine some map makers influenced other map makers. But here we go. We got huge Antarctica down here. Again, reaching up way over here, Australia. Basically touching South America. And then we've got North America. Looks like Canada is, I don't know where Alaska's at on this exactly. Unless it's this little spot over here. But we've got the 4 islands in the north again with water right in the middle. Good spot for a magnetic tree, I suppose. Here is another one. Not quite as good. The very old one. I think this is 14th century, something like that, or said to be. And you can see in the north hints of, again, an island with some rivers going in up there in the north. And you can see in the Pacific, here's America. There's California and Baja California. Here's Australia. And of course, Antarctica comes up almost to the equator, where in this map, it has Australia laying right on the equator. Which would be nice if they hadn't set out to deceive and lie to us about everything. Would sure be nice. You got another one here. I told you I got quite a few. Okay. Right off the bat, you can see the islands in the north. Okay. And this is a map that came out of I think it was India. Okay. An Indian map maker back in the 1400s. And it was in a book. And you can see in the north, in the south, what is this? This huge thing here. It looks like Australia. And it stretches across on both pages here. What is that? Then you've got down here in Antarctica. Look at all the creatures they've got shown down there. Got something that looks like a turkey or a peacock right there. And they've got something that looks like kind of a 4-legged animal there. And over here looks like something almost like an elephant and alligator below it. Something looks like a monkey with the head of a lion, almost like right there. I mean, these map makers, you know, they would take this work pretty serious. They're not cartoonists exactly, not like they are today, because we got a whole system of cartoonists called NASA. But when they would put things on a map like this, there's a reason for it. Here's another one. And this one don't exactly show it exactly. You can see something here going on. But I thought this one was interesting. Go ahead and look at the next one. This one, you can see hints of the islands up there in the north. See? They're like sticking down with water running between them. Little pieces of what we're seeing on the other maps. Then you got Antarctica, again, being massive. Down here in the south, coming all the way up right under Australia. And even coming up on the other side, right in this area, as high as Australia is. Like it would be a little bit higher than the bottom part of Australia on this side. I don't know about you, but I can't help it that I find this fascinating It has a lot to do with my world view and understanding of how things are in the image of the body and of the heavens and of God, because we are in the image of God. We are the temple of God, the temple made without hands. Here's another one. And again, you can see the islands in the north. Okay. And south, the very large Antarctica coming way up close to the equator. So this is a massive, I mean, this land right in here in the northern edge, this would be green land. Okay. It would be, it wouldn't be snow covered if this was real. I can't say if it is or not for sure, but because Australia certainly is very habitable, especially in the south part. They live down in the south part a lot. And you have this Antarctica just off the coast. Really? Okay, maybe it's just me. We've also got the letter that says a letter dated 1577 from Mercator to John Dee. And Mercator, mer has to do with water, like mermaid, and many other things that you could refer to, like Myrtle Beach. And there's like marine has to do with water. And Gator, it's like locator. And then the word on the end, tour, the letters on the end, tour, is like tourists. It's like someone going on a tour. So this is like a tour of and location of all the waters. That's what like literally Mercator means. And unless the English language was written based on his name, Mercator might have not even been an actual person, or his name might have got changed to Mercator for what he was doing for work. Maybe. Anyways, to John Dee. And see here, see what we're looking at. Very bad map image. Got better ones, of course. And not a bit. I think I want to read this all at once in a single show. And there's a lot, as you can see. And another image of those lands. This part over here would be the area that would be like Russia or European areas. It almost looks like it could connect or something. You know, you never know. They don't tell us the truth. You got to keep people in the dark. It's the way they operate. Their little layout of a do with that central area again. 4 islands. Hyperborea. Insula Deserta. On these maps, the area that's in the center of that circle in the north, it's like a plateau. There's mountains around the edge or jagged areas where the land drops off that seem like mountains, and you would depict it like that. But the center area is like a giant plateau, like it was a giant tree that got cut down. Is it possible? Yeah, I think so. with what we know now about the giant remnants of the giant tree stumps around the world, and how I have discovered and shared with y'all guys that the volcanoes are the remains of some of those giant trees, where all that energy was stored underground, and over time it changes sometimes to from something like lighter wood that you get from a type of pine tree, or what's it called, conifer. You get something like lighter wood. It stores all that energy in a massive, gigantic 50, 100-mile stump in the ground. And that energy is miles down into the ground in veins, which are the arteries or the root systems. And then over time, that energy just don't disappear. Sometimes it transmutes and ends up becoming a volcano. And then I've got another letter here, and I think this is related to this letter. Okay. And look on down here just to see what else we see. The high rock is said to measure 33 German miles, 33 German miles units, which are 4 times the French miles of the Mercator letter. While the latter on his map writes 33 leagues. Make you start to wonder where maybe some of this, BlackRock stuff, where they control all the corporations across the world, and why they love the number 33. I'm sure there's many reasons why, but this certainly ties into it. Because it merely calls the rock lofty and black, without reference to its magnetic quality. And this is going to be a good read. Y'all guys want to get a head start on reading it? I'll drop this into the comments. I'm not going to hog it. See if I can do that. Second. Okay. All right, there it goes. It's in the comments. Should show up any moment for you if you're interested in taking a look at that. Mainly today, the good news for y'all guys is I'm going to start doing, in some form or another, I'm going to start doing about 3 Logic Before Authority live shows every week, starting by next Monday, probably for sure, or maybe Sunday, because I'm not sure what day I'm going to do it on. Okay, they're going to do everything else the same as the way where we've been doing it, like with the Supernatural show Mondays and Fridays, with the Roxy Files on Tuesdays, and Children of the Most High on Thursdays. We also have Jesse Howe is going to be joining us, and he's going to be doing a show as well that I don't have the schedule of yet. And we're just in the process of helping him get set up, all of his technologies and everything in place so that he can do that. Okay. Let's see what else. I know y'all guys would like to see information to all of these maps. Let's do this for a second. Let's run a image search on this map, and see what we get. We'll Google image search on that map. This one right here that shows the island to the north. And it's saying that that one. I can try to search Google. Out a different way. No, still didn't really. Let's do it a different way. I think I know why it's doing this, but Don't work either, actually. Not liking it because this image is coming out of my Google Voice file, so it's not able to access the image. Okay, we can't do that. I think y'all guys might be interested in this map here. They've called this Polus Arcticus. Contemporary misconceptions of the North Pole largely stemmed from the writings of Franciscan friar from Oxford who traveled the North Atlantic region in the early 1360s. His now lost travel log, Invento Fortunata, contains a description of the North Pole as a magnetic island, Rupus Negre, 33 miles wide, black rocks surrounded by a giant whirlpool of 4 continents. Between these Arctic land masses, ocean waters rushed northward and descended into the earth at the pole. They're calling it misconceptions, but yet they're overlaying this map showing it to you. Okay. Here live pygmies, at most 4 feet tall, who are like those called railings in Greenland. This strait has 5 mouths, and because of narrowness and the speed of the rivers, it is never frozen. In the northern parts of Bargu, there are islands, says Marco Polo, the Venetian, Book 1, Chapter 51, which lies so far north that the Arctic Pole seems to be south of them. In the northern parts of Bargu, there are islands, says Marco Polo, which lie so far north that the Arctic Pole seems to be south of them. That is a weird statement, isn't it? Copy that. And I'll run a search on it so I don't forget to look that up. As the text describes the plain of Bargu. Remember I said that it was a giant plain up on top, like a tree stump that's been cut off? It says near Koran, customs of its inhabitants, the nearby ocean, the falcons found there, and the position of the northern constellation. A 45-day journey from Bargu. Area. Let's see what is Book 1, Chapter 51. Copy of it. Digital copy. Book 1, Chapter 51. Chapter 51. of the great and admirable palace of the Grand Khan, near to the city of Canbola, Polo. That's on page 175, 74. Yeah. 3 pages here. Get there in a second. Yeah. 4. As it loads, kind of load all those other pages. And even though I got a gigabyte per second speed, it still ain't fast as you think. Okay. Chapter 1. $50 is a V, ain't it? This load for a second. Hey, get joke, but I don't know any. Okay, so this is XXXI. Okay. That'd be like 31. This is 30. I don't know my Roman numerals perfectly. Might be a problem. I have to look it up. I gotta get sure. I know somebody's shouting at me. It's here, it's there. But we're not gonna go diving too far into that. Go back over here to this map. Click on a few more locations here. Good. This one. The ocean is broken up into 19 miles, with the islands between them making 4 channels. Though these, the ocean is carried unceasingly underneath the northern region, and there it is absorbed into the bowels of the earth. Rocky landmass underneath the pole has a circumference of 33 leagues. Got a link. See where that takes us. Brings us right back to here. That's supposed to work. Okay. Click on this one. This island is the best and healthiest of the whole northern region. This channel has 3 miles as entryways, and it remains frozen for about 3 months here. It has a latitude of 37 leagues. Okay. According to Mercator's 1569 world map, the inhabitants of Grokland are Swedes by origin. This mysterious island, which does not appear on the legendary Zeno map, it is possibly Baffin Island, which was sighted in 1576 by Englishman Martin Fisher. baffling. Or which one? Of course, study it long enough, you might be able to figure it out. Click on that's towards the United States. 1587, John Davis reached a high latitude of 72 degrees, west coast of Greenland, naming a 1,042-mile high mountain, Sanderson's. What is a 1,042-mile high mountain, Sanderson's Hope, after their sponsor. Naming that must be meter, 1,042 meter. Yeah, must be what that is. High mountain, Sanderson Hope. Although I wouldn't doubt that this tree stump was much higher than 1,000 miles. This was a tree, or whatever it was, no longer exists. Looks like it was cut down, and the continents that we have now are the remnants of that tree. Wouldn't that be a trip? This little island says. Not long after Mercator first published this map in 1595, Dutch explorer William Barents discovered Spitsberg in 1596. Hondius, who subsequently acquired the plates, erased part of the Arctic landmass to make way for the depiction of Spitsberg, 1628, which is you're claiming why this edge here has been erased a little bit. I'll not draw it back, but yeah. Willoughby's land during 1553 voyage across Barents Sea. English explorer Hugh Willoughby reported islands to the north, while these two islands were either a mirage or a real sighting of Novia Zembla. They were subsequently depicted in names named Willoughby's Land and Masson on any 16th century map. Can't bear this works. Link to this map. Hopefully this works. This is not a direct link, but I'm sharing it with you, that y'all guys can take a look at it yourself. Click on the California connection up here. California region known to the Spanish by hearsay only. Baja California was discovered by the Spanish in 1533. Yet its northerly location here by Mercator is unusual. The name California comes from a 1510 Spanish novel by Montalvo, described as an island west of the Indies, populated only by Amazon warriors. The name was subsequently given to the Baja California Peninsula following its discovery by Fortune Exmenes, something like that, in the mistaken assumption of it being an island. I don't know, there's a lot of maps out there showing California as an island. I just want the middle of the magnetic North Pole. Although many believe the rock at the North Pole to be magnetic, Mercator preferred to place a magnetic rock near the Strait of Aden in an attempt to explain magnetic variation. Two poles are proposed, first with respect to a meridian through the Cape Verde Islands, and an alternative pole with respect to the meridian through the island of Corva. Yeah, they're always saying there's more than one magnetic. And I would say the answer to that could be found in the human body and also in the heavens as to why that is, if it's real, why that is. Oceanus Cynthius, Thecus, sea. Dutch explorer William Barents discovered this island also. 1594, during his first of 3 attempts to find the Northeast Passage. Third voyage, Barents managed to navigate further around the northern tip, but heavy sea ice conditions led to their ship becoming stuck. Barents and his crew were forced to overwinter here, where they built a lodge called Het Ben Hutton, the saved house. Redrawn coastline of this island is in the 1628 edition that reflects these discoveries. Right? Lots of interesting little tidbits. But this thing looking like the way it does looks like a tree stump. And the size and massive nature that would be, where did the tree go? If it is the size that it appears to be, then we'd be talking about the tree stump, or the tree itself is likely what we consider to be our continents now. This whole area was, I can't say for sure, guys, the Garden of Eden, you know? And of course, that was a long time ago. Another little, that's that right there is this Polus magnetus. That's the little, another tree stump that's there that they call an island. This depicts, if you think about the different world cosmology that depict the world as being a tree. Ever looked at any of that? Tree world cosmology. See? Depicting that the world came from a tree. And that it rides on a turtle's back. You can find plenty of those images too as well. I didn't turtle in here, but you can find that as well. And what that would mean is that, see, a turtle's back is in the image of time. It is. And a turtle moves very, very slowly, but he's moving. So it's like our realm does some kind of a world, a rotating kind of nature, but it might not be the land as much as it is the energetic essence that provides the life that we exist in here. It may itself be doing the rotating part. I'm not sure. I can't claim to know for sure. I'm just putting together puzzle pieces just like y'all guys, you know? This old image here, I say old, probably fairly old. Tree stump under a dome, surrounded by ice, serpent, and a tree underneath the ground, either the root system or whatever. You know, it's symbolism, what it is. I I have a new extra, as I call it, for the Supernatural show. Normally I play the one for Logic Before Authority now, because this is a normal Logic Before Authority broadcast, but I'm going to play the new extra that I just created and share it with y'all guys, okay? So it's the Supernatural show extra. I'm borrowing from them. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I know that's a joke. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys, and we'll see you very soon, okay? Friday for sure. Don't forget that Shannon will be live doing the Children of the Most High, along probably with Roxy tomorrow. And then again, we'll be here again on Friday as well. I love you. Thank you very much. Hope you found this interesting. We'll be digging further. Trust me. Bye-bye for now. Okay, that is not the extra. Sorry. Again, that is not the extra. I don't know how. What is the deal? Let me go look. Maybe this is the right one. Let me try this one. I got a lot of files, guys. Let's try this.